Hello viewers, I am Dr. P.K. Verma. You are welcome in the biology classes. Today I shall begin sexual reproduction in the animal kingdom. It is a very large kingdom from protozoa to chordata with a lot of variations and gradual evolutionary development of the genital system. So at first I shall outline only the process of formation of genital system in different phyla, and then in another section I shall discuss the process of spermatogenesis and oogenesis. So let us begin a brief account of sexual reproduction in the animals. The sexual reproduction begins in the protozoa. In Elphidium, there is alternation of sexual and asexual generations. Elphidium reproduced by isogamy. Paramecium is a ciliate that reproduces by conjugation, and Plasmodium is the malaria parasite that forms ovum and sperms inside the stomach of female Anopheles. Porifera is a metazoa, rather it is called parazoa by some authors. It has ectoderm and endoderm, and in between them there is a mesenchyme. In the mesenchyme, a large number of undifferentiated totipotent archaeocytes are present that can form the male germ cells and female germ cells, and therefore, in spite of having no gonad, they form sperms and ova. So in this diagram, you see there is a sponge. One side of the body wall has been cut apart to show ectoderm as well as the inner layer known as flagellated layer because of presence of the collar cells. The gametes are formed in this part. The sperm is released through a spongocele to water, and then it can enter into any other sponge through the pores. Now, the sperm head is taken, engulfed by the collar cells, and carried to ovum inside mesenchyme where fertilization occurs. After fertilization starts, the zygote divides by cleavage and forms amphiblastula larva. This larva is released into water, settles on the ground, and develops into another sponge. So sperms are motile and released through osculum. Sperm enter into flagellated chambers, carried to ova by collar cells, and then fertilization occurs. A definite gonad, that is testis and ovary, are formed in coelenterate. These animals may be unisexual or bisexual. In some animals like hydra, the testes and ovaries are formed by ectodermal cell, but in the jellyfishes, these are formed by endodermal cells. Now see a diagram of hydra. There are some birds for asexual reproduction, but the testes are present in the upper region just below the level of tentacles and ovaries in the lower region near the foot. The gametes are formed from ectoderm. So sperms released from testes are transferred to ovary of the same hydra or another hydra, and fertilization takes place on the outer surface. In this case, there is no larval form, but in higher forms like Ovelia, hydrula larva is formed. This is the diagram of jellyfish. It is a transparent animal. You see the semicircular structures here. There are 4 gonads, testes or ovary. These are unisexual. Their gametes also are released into water, where the external development, external fertilization occurs. The coelenterate typically form a gastula stage known as stereogastula. Now, in Ovelia, hydrula larva is formed. In jellyfishes, after the hydrula larva, Strobila is formed. It undergoes transverse division for 3 to 4 years and form 300 to 400 ephyra larvae. So it is a case of polyembryony in which each ephyra larva forms one jellyfish. Now come to the flatworms, the Platyhelminthes. These worms are hermaphrodite and therefore chance of self-fertilization is higher in them. Development is complicated because of the parasitic life. Now it is the Taenia solium with a head or a scolex. In the neck region, transverse divisions like this occur to form new proglottids regularly throughout the life for 3 to 4 years. These segments are known as proglottids. After 1/50th segment, at first the ovary, then testes develop, and by reaching 500th segment, these proglottids become mature. So fertilization takes place within the same proglottids. After fertilization, the gravid proglottids break from the posterior region by a process called apolysis. The proglottids pass out with fecus taken by a pig or cattle. Inside them, the oncosphere or hexacanth larva and later on cysticercus larva develops. This is another diagram of Taenia solium. A full proglottid is shown here. This branch structure belongs to the male genital system. The sperms are carried through the sperm duct on the outer surface. But in place of going out, they re-enter into the vagina and come to uterus here. After fertilization, the entire uterus fulfills the whole available space of the proglottid and other organs degenerate. Each gravid proglottid contains about 5,000 zygotes that convert into oncosphere and hexacanth. This diagram belongs to liver fluke Fasciola hepatica, or another species Fasciola gigantica. The testes are formed here like branched and bunched structure, and ovaries are formed in the anterior region. They too usually fertilize self, but because in liver many fasciola can be found and they form a temporary penis or ejaculatory duct through which cross fertilization can occur. The annelids also are hermaphrodite, but they have cross and mutual fertilization. In earthworm, there is a permanent clitellum, whereas in the leeches it is temporary. Clitellum is a muscle band that covers female genital aperture. In earthworm Pheretima posthuma, it is present in 14 to 16 segment, and the female genital aperture is present in 14 segment. So eggs are released inside the muscle band. Now the band is removed, it slips forward. In the anterior region, there are 4 pairs of spermatheca, bag-like structures, into which the partner worm deposits sperm. So when the clitellum moves over spermatheca, the sperms are squeezed, come into clitellum, fertilization takes place within clitellum, and the zygotes develop there. More than 40 or 50 zygotes can develop into worms without any larval stage. Such a structure is called ootheca, or commonly as cocoon, but really a cocoon is the cover of pupa, not the zygote or larva, such as in the silk moth. In a higher class, Polychaeta, there is no clitellum. The eggs and sperms are released into water, so fertilization and development takes place in sea water. They form a trochophore larva. On the basis of larval similarity, it is said that from the trochophore larva, variations called formation of different type of larvae, from which the mollusca, arthropoda, echinodermata, or even the hemichordata have been developed. Roundworms are unisexual. Arthropoda also are unisexual, and they have sexual dimorphism. That is, the male and female differ from each other. In case of roundworms, the males are smaller than females. Now the parasitic worms may have one host, so monogenetic, or 2 hosts, or digenetic. The life cycle of digenetic parasite is more complex than monogenetic parasite. They form a number of larval stages. Mollusca and echinodermata are unisexual, very rarely bisexual. Fertilization is external, and they have various types of larvae. The Muller and Veliger larva in case of mollusca, in Unio Pila, sepia, snails. These all are mollusca in which larvae are formed. In Arthropoda, some classes form larvae of various types, and among them, Crustacea is especially recognized. In higher animals, that is Chordata, all animals are unisexual and have cross fertilization. But the fertilization or development may be internal or external. In fishes and amphibia, external fertilization and external development takes place. Fishes form fish fries, amphibians form tadpole larvae. In reptile, birds and Prototheria, fertilization is internal but development is external within the shelled egg. In higher mammal, Eutheria, there is uterus and entire development takes place inside uterus. You will study it in details in the later sessions. Since then, thank you very much.